Pharmaceutical medication is addictive to one point or another. I mean, Percocet, Percodan. I've taken both those. Well, I lived off of that on 3rd, 4th floor of St. Pat's Hospital.
If you could talk face to face with our congressman, legislature, anybody, what would you have to say?
Well, I'd like to bring up the pharmaceutical medications being produced and mass-produced and pushed upon the people.
Good point. Okay.
I would like to say there is an alternative. It is medicinal marijuana.
Yep.
Fellows, the older people have got to have an open mind. Pharmaceuticals are killing us. Marijuana comes from the earth.
Right.
There's nothing
It's organic.
harder than that to figure out. We are killing ourselves with these pharmaceuticals.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm a dickhead asshole. I will not be put down. I will not be stuck down by the government or anybody. So I will use what I need to feel better. And so will you, won't you, brother? Power. Power to the people, man.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed watching those interviews as much as I enjoyed taking them. Now I would like to introduce our next guest, Brian Spellman.
Brian's here from the Montana, or from TM, you don't get to edit, from TMCHF. I told him I'd mess that up, and by God I did. But he's here, they're one of our sponsors, and he's here to support us and tell us a little bit about their organization. Brian, thanks for coming down today. How are you doing? Tell us about you.
Well, thank you very much, Cassidy, for asking us to be here, and Kelly. TMCHF, the Montana Cannabis and Hemp Foundation, is very pleased to be a sponsor of Growing Green. As one of the oldest shops in the Missoula area, we've been open for about 1.5 years now. We are open 7 days a week. We're very proud of the fact that we have never been closed during our posted business hours, and we've never been out of product. We are also open in Superior 1 day a week, every Wednesday, for our patients in Mineral County and even in Sanders County who drive down to Superior to see us there. We're a full service shop. We are very pleased to be able to provide product to our patients in a whole variety of ways, not just bud, but also tinctures, lotions, creams. We've got a full range of edibles, including cookies, candies, peanut butter, honey, muffins.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We've got medicated chai, medicated coffees. In case you want a medicated vanilla frappuccino, we've got that. We've also got boil-in-the-bag dinners, including things like clam chowder and Hungarian mushroom and red pepper soup.
So marijuana, it's not just for smoking anymore.
You know, I'm really pleased with the fact that we've got such a wide variety of things. We've got a patient, for instance, who came into our shop in a wheelchair, just terribly down. You could see by looking at her that she was in a great deal of pain. And she's got asthma. She can't smoke. She's afraid to even use a vaporizer. We were able to get her started with tinctures. Today, she walks into our shop. She's smiling, she's up, she wants to live. She was on suicide watch when she first came to see us, and now she's back in her own home. I'm really happy that we're able to help people like that and get medicine to them in forms that they can use.
Right, that's your goal, is to help people.
That is. You know, we offer free delivery in the Missoula area. I guess the one thing, you know, as I said, we have a store open in Superior now. We're planning on opening a store in the Bitterroot in the next 3 to 6 months, assuming that the legislature allows us to stay in business. And on that note, I want to tell all of your viewers, please vote. If you are not currently registered to vote, we have registration certificates in our shop where you can come in and sign up. We'll turn them in for you so that you can register. It's important that everybody vote. It's important that the legislators know that we mean business here. And with that, I would like to thank all of our patients who have been so active in calling, emailing, writing the legislators, calling, emailing, writing the governor on these important issues during these past trying times.
Yes, I agree.
All right, thank you so much. Now, what was it that brought you in? I mean, you don't look like your average hanging out on the corner, tattooed up, hippied out pot smoker. So what was it that brought you into an industry such as this?
My partner Kevin and I have been involved both in the medical profession and on Kevin's part. Kevin's a registered CNA, and I have been involved for many years in the nutritional supplement business, trying to help people to get healthy. Unfortunately, I found with nutritional supplements you can't force people to be healthy. But that's one of the wonderful things with medical marijuana, because this is a product that helps people tremendously with a whole variety of reasons and a whole variety of conditions, and people want it.
Yeah, and the list of ailments that it helps just continues to grow.
You know, I was reading just recently in Science News how, and Science News, you'll have to admit, is not some hippie freak stoner publication, right? Science News had an article recently about how medical marijuana actually targets cancerous cells, killing them and allowing healthy cells to live, unlike chemotherapy. You know, I think everyone who's suffering from cancer should be on medical marijuana. I really do. We have a patient with glaucoma who went in to see her doctor, told her doctor, I'm taking marijuana. The doctor said, the next time you come in for a test, use your marijuana before you come in. Her pressures were down from 30 down into the normal range. Her doctor was so impressed, he said, I want to get all my patients on this, test it out on all of them. That's why I'm doing it.
It's a changing world. I'm glad to be involved in this part of it.
world.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for being a part of the show today, for coming down, for sponsoring us, for all the help you've given us. I wanted to see if you could bring us a big bowl of marijuana to put on the table, but I didn't get a hold of you in time.
Yeah, if you'd only ask.
I know. Maybe next week or in a couple weeks down the road, we'll always need props and stuff as we go along. Everybody, I do want to thank Brian, and I want to thank our other guests that are here. One of them is Talon Lang. He's the director of the Missoula chapter of the Medical Marijuana Growers Association, Montana Medical Marijuana Growers Association. And I was able to interview him a couple months back when I first got started in this project. And so much has changed between then and now. It almost seemed like I should just scrap that, but it was so much work to begin with. I want to bring it to you really because there's just so much that's happened between then and now, and I want you to see where things were. And he's going to be on the show and answer your questions. We'll be able to see more of where things are right now. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and roll some footage from a video I did with Talon about 2-3 months ago.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Wood, and I'm here with Talon Lang, the director of the Sweetwater Patient Services.
Tell us, Talon, to start off, I guess, what is the MMGA? What's it all about?
Well, the MMGA is a statewide trade association that represents well over half of the patients and caregivers in the state of Montana. We are a trade association that's aimed at the goal of making this sustainable to the people of the state of Montana. So it's our goal of the MMGA to carry on in the spirit of what Initiative 148 was meant to be, what it stands for. So the way that we do that is by educating people, bringing ethics and standards to the industry, and you know, doing everything that we can on a legislative level with city and local governments and everything else that we can do to sustain this and make this sustainable to the people of the state of Montana.
So what are we expecting in the upcoming legislative session, changes in the laws, and how is it going to affect the people of Montana that have medical marijuana?
Well, it's actually kind of a precarious situation right now. The last elections didn't really go well for us that are in this industry. There's a growing tide of people who would like to see medical cannabis go away completely. They just feel that it's fraught with too many problems. There's too many abuses of the system, and so you know, we definitely have our work cut out for us in this next legislative session. I think that it could even be a real possibility that this whole thing could go away, which would be a terrible, terrible disservice to so many patients. My background is not in cannabis. My background is in business management, sales, and trading. And I only became involved with cannabis businesses this last year, in January actually of this last year. In that year, I have met some of the most amazing and wonderful and just good people who are not criminals, who shouldn't be put in jail because they use cannabis to you know, fix their Crohn's disease or their chronic pain from a car automobile accident. We have stories time and time again that have come up where people have been able to get off of many year addictions to opiate painkillers. We've had people who have been on things like OxyContin and
Which is another big problem in
prescription drugs.
Missoula, and Montana, and the whole country right now.
Right, and so now we have a substance which is safer, far safer than any of those prescription medications. We've had now medical marijuana in the state for, you know, the last couple of years, and the sky isn't falling, and society hasn't gone all to hell, which, you know, of course the prohibitionists would like to say, you know, if you make marijuana legal, then, you know, it's going to be the end of the world, and that's simply not the case.
Back to reefer madness.
Yeah, back to reefer madness, and that's just simply not the case. Time and time again, where countries or governments have taken a different stance, a non-punitive stance towards drugs. The country of Portugal, for example, is a great example of that. 10 years ago, they legalized, didn't legalize, they decriminalized all substances, which means that if you have a 30-day supply of whatever it is, whether it be cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, you know, marijuana, LSD, anything, it's no longer a criminal matter. Since that time, their rates of violent crime have decreased. Their rates of HIV transmission have decreased. The amount of people that they're incarcerating has decreased. Their rates of addiction have actually decreased, and actual drug use in the country has decreased. And all of the people who fearmongered and said, well, if you legalize it, then Portugal is going to become a haven for drug tourists, and we're just going to have people laying in the gutters stoned out of their mind all day, and none of those things happen. So this is just another, I think that progressive drug policy is incredibly important.